Hi, good morning, guys. It's May 31st, Saturday morning. William here with Patriot Containers, bringing you videos on how to protect yourself from buying from the wrong companies or from scam companies that are like 90% of what the container industry has turned into. It's very, very rare to find a good company that actually does exactly with what they say for you. That being said, if you're new to my channel, I've been in business for 10 years. I've been selling containers for 12 years. I used to work for companies that I'm warning you about. Oh, they all are the exact same. They're lying out their teeth. They sell junk. They overpromise everything. And they screw you over in the end with no communication, horrible containers, taking forever to deliver, and they're never accountable, and there's nothing you can do about it. All my videos are exposing exactly what these companies can do to you, and then how you can try to be a little bit smarter than them and either beat them at their own game or showing all the red flags so you don't go with those companies. In 10 years of me selling cargo containers, I have only 3 complaints. And those 3 complaints are from 3 people that never bought a container from me. If you clearly go read them, they say, obviously you'll read it, that they never bought a container from me. So the way I run my business is customer first, me last. The bad companies is company first, you last. So the title of this video is Payment Methods. There's so many ways to pay for a cargo container, but me personally, I always try to put myself in somebody's shoes so I can understand with what they go through and how would I prevent it. So payment methods. Let me go over some really quick. You got cash, credit card, debit card, checks, wires, Echecks, ACHs, Zelle, and any other type of cash apps. The problem with, let me tell you this really quick. I have my suspicions and my beliefs that if you pay, let's say, scams are where you pay by Zelle or wire transfer and you're not going to get anything at all. I highly, highly, highly recommend never ever paying for that. Some of these companies, what they do is they say they take credit card, which they do, but they're going to charge you 3%, which they shouldn't. But if you pay by Zelle or wire transfer, they knock off 3%. So they're kind of forcing you to pay that way. Now, that being said, I've read some of these complaints, and it seems like everybody, not everybody, but a lot of them that have gotten horrible containers pay by Zelle or wire transfer or check or e-check. And you have zero leverage of when you're going to get your money back and how much of your money are you going to get it back. And if it's a scam, you ain't getting nothing back, okay? So I'm trying to paint a picture here. Also, one more thing that I was trying to say, I sometimes wonder if you pay by those forms of payment where you can't have your money back unless they give it to you, if you're like sealing your fate on them actually purchasing you a horrible container and making their profit margins higher. Maybe not. I don't know. But it seems like all the complaints that I read on these companies, these people get horrible containers with damage and holes, and the companies that claim they have warranties aren't doing anything to fix anything. Now, the way these companies, I don't want to talk about warranties, but the way these companies claim that they have a warranty is they send you a horrible product with damage and issues, and then their warranty is a patch kit or JB Weld that you have to mix up to put in the hole. Doesn't change the container, it just changes that one little spot. I don't think that's a warranty. It's not my opinion of what a warranty is. It's a legal loophole to say they have a warranty. So that being said, I believe that if you pay in those type of methods and they're actually going to bring you a container, they might know that there's nothing you can do, so they just purchase you the most horrible container for you. And I would never ever pay like that, especially now. If you pay by check, wire, Echecks, ACH, Zelle, or Cash Apps, there's nothing wrong with paying like that if you've already bought from these companies and you trust them. I would never in my lifetime ever send anybody money like this if I've never met them and I don't know who they are. It's crazy if you do that. You should never, ever, ever do that. It's worth it to pay the 3%. That being said, if you have to pay for your container and you don't know this company, I highly advise paying by credit card or debit card. They can't keep your money unless you sign cancellation fees or restocking fees. But I honestly think if you pay by credit card or debit card, they might bring you out a better container instead of purchasing you the worst junk out there. That's my opinion. I don't know. I just, from so much reading and studying on these companies' complaints, I've noticed patterns. Cash. Everybody. So I've been selling containers for 12 years. About 2 years ago, everybody wants to pay cash. Of course, you want somebody to load up an 8,000-pound container on a driver's truck and drive 50 to 200 miles for nothing down. Well, I've also had phone calls where somebody calls me and they go, "We bought a container from somebody and it never showed up." And I go, "Did you get your money back?" I was literally worried for them. And they go, "No, we never paid for it." So I've called these competitors that I'm warning you of. They all say they do cash on delivery, but they don't take cash on delivery. And they say they don't take cash on the delivery because their drivers don't really work for that company. So they don't want you to hand cash to the driver because the driver might not give them the money back. It's kind of like what they want to do to you is what they don't want the driver to do to them. It's kind of weird how that works out. There are companies that take cash. I know they exist. They're very, very, very rare. You have to find a company that actually owns their own drivers and trucks, so when they deliver, that driver comes back with the cash. If that driver delivers, or let's say the company's here in this state and the driver's in Texas, the driver's not gonna, I have drivers that say I do have drivers that I trust very much that will take cash on delivery because all they do is they take the cash, they have their own cash in their bank, and then they Zelle me with the money that's owed to me. And I pay them fast and they pay me fast. Some drivers say, "Yeah, William, we'll do that." And then they don't send me my money for like 30 days. And I'm like, "Hey, I pay you guys in seconds when you send me an invoice. Why aren't you sending me my money?" And then so they go, "Well, this is an accounting nightmare. We need to account for this and all the money going out and blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Well, you told me you would do it. Now you're complaining about it." So cash on delivery is great, but I think maybe 1 or 2% of container sellers actually really do that. So when you have all these companies that are saying they do cash on delivery, but they don't accept cash on delivery, how do they get away with charging you guys cancellation fees and restocking fees? Well, it's pretty easy. You have to put a credit card on file. Now, I guarantee you that company is going to verify and make sure that that credit card works before they load an 8,000-pound container onto a truck and bring it out to you. Now, the way they protect themselves is in their terms and conditions or a contract that you sign, you're going to have a restocking fee or a cancellation fee. So if you cancel after 5 minutes of giving them the order, they're going to keep a cancellation fee. And that varies between companies. And they're going to use the credit card that you put on file. If they bring you out a horrible container and you send it back, restocking fee and cancellation fees. So they always make it sound like it's this foolproof way of how it's so great for you up until you give them an order, and then you realize that you kind of screwed yourself because of what the terms and conditions are on these companies. So there's ways to do this correctly and to where you are protected. Like if you were to give me an order, a lot of times the way I like it is I don't mark up the delivery price at all. Whatever my driver is charging, you can pay that part cash when he gets there. I usually just write up the cost of my container and my profit, and if there's a sales tax involved, that total on debit or credit card, and I don't charge 3%. So your money is protected that way, and you can pay my driver cash for the delivery. If I bring you out a crappy container, which I won't, but if I did, you're probably not going to pay my driver, and the container is going to come back, and then you get 100% full refund on your container. But I show up on the right day, and I don't show up with bad products for my customers, and I never oversell something. So it's I'm vulnerable. If I screw up, you're safe and protected. So yeah, payment methods. I know nobody wants to pay 3%. I don't charge 3%. I'm talking about all the other companies. In order to protect yourself, I would use a debit or credit card, and that's it. I would never pay by checks, wire, Echecks, ACH, Zelle, or any type of cash apps. You're almost like sealing your fate on getting a horrible container because they know you can't do nothing about it. And they can keep your money for however long. I've read all the complaints of the people trying to get their money back, and they're at the mercy of these companies. I mean, if you bought a container from these companies and they showed up on the right day and they brought you a good container, yes, go ahead and pay them by Zelle because they've already earned your repeat business. Obviously, if they screwed you over, you're not calling them back. I've also read complaints on these companies where it was a repeat buyer where they already bought a container once from them and they were happy with the condition, they were happy with the service, and the second container they just totally screwed them over. So it's like I just don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why because I used to work for companies like that. They just don't care. They only care about money, the sale, the profit, and the commission, and that's it. They don't care, and it's sad. But anyways, that's why I'm making these videos. So this video is called Payment Methods. If you want my advice, and I hope you're watching my videos for my advice, because my videos are to help protect people from getting scammed, ripped off, lied to, and just hoodwinked when you buy a container. So number one recommendation, cash or part cash. Number two, credit card or debit card. That's it. Checks, wires, Echecks, ACH, Zelle, cash apps, any type of form of payment where you're sending somebody money but you cannot get it back. Don't do that, people. Don't do that. I only pay people that way that I personally know or they've been doing business with me for many years. You can't do this to people that you don't know. It's bad. It's fast and easy, but it's bad. Don't do that. So anyways, guys, that's it. Payment methods. That's my 2 cents. I hope you're listening. I hope you understand. I put myself in everybody's shoes. I'm not a selfish person. That's me. It's you. Shipping lines, drivers, and then me. So have a good one. Have a happy Saturday, and have a good day. Bye.